It is time for a Monday episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. What is up, boys and girls? Thank you for being here. We're live on our YouTube and X. We are replayed on Sports Grid television and audio podcasts, wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. My name is Matt Peralta. We're going to be with you for the next hour plus, breaking down tonight's games, really all games. It's the sports equinox. It's the 31st time that we have all four major professional sports league. I know you soccer people relax. You soccer people are all mad. You're like, wait a minute, we're playing two. So this is 5 teams. Okay. It's all 5. It's MLS. It's the NBA. It's the NHL. It's Major League Baseball. And it's the NFL all playing tonight. We have Monday Night Football. We have Game 3 of the World Series. We have a ton to get into today on the program. We even have a new sponsor to jump in with here today. Just a lot of good stuff coming up after a very, very busy sports weekend. Reminder that the show is off tomorrow. We will not be here live tomorrow. There'll be a replay on Sports Grid, and then we will be back on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from New Hampshire. It's amazing because Friday is Halloween, but Friday is also Nevada Day here in Nevada, which it's kind of like Patriots Day in New England. Like nobody else celebrates it, but people in like Boston proper, nobody outside of Nevada celebrates Nevada Day, but it's a state holiday and all the schools are closed. So it's a 3-day weekend for the kids here on top of being Halloween. So it's a very busy week in this part of the country. Obviously, we have a ton of things to break down and get into, but from the weekend, I tried to narrow it down, and I think I did a pretty good job of it. My top 5 favorite things is our opening line. All right, my top 5 favorite things from the weekend, and I cheated a little bit here because I combined baseball into one, and really it's 2, but I had to include both things that happened in the World Series because one was offense and one was defense. The offense was on Friday night, where we saw history. A pinch hit, first pitch, grand slam. First time we've ever seen it. Addison Barger, pinch hit, grand slam. Now the game was already over. Okay, this was the cherry on top of the sundae for the Blue Jays on Friday. Like this game was already a rout, and then it just became even a bigger rout with. I mean, it became pandemonium at Rogers Center with that. When you see a pinch hit, lefty on lefty, bomb to right field for the Blue Jays, who win game 1, who go up 1-0. But we have to acknowledge it in game 2, Yamamoto comes back and throws a complete game in a reminder that in postseason baseball, pitching rules. Like pitching rules. If you have pitching in Major League Baseball, which is kind of a rarity, I know, but if you can pitch in Major League Baseball, it's just good pitching beats good hitting every single time. If you're a dominant pitcher, and Yamamoto has gone back-to-back games, complete games. I've been asked this question a couple times, and I'm not sure how I want to answer it yet because I don't know how the whole series is going to play out. But the fact that Yamamoto was able to allow Dave Roberts to keep his high leverage arms in the pen, which is the Achilles heel of this team, okay? The only thing that will beat the Dodgers, it's not the Blue Jays, it's the bullpen, because we saw it in game 1, right? We saw what happened when they got into that bullpen early, and Blake Snell was not good on Friday night, and the bullpen had to come in early. Blake Snell threw 29 pitches, I believe it was, in the first inning, and that really caused him not to go deep into game 1. And so the Blue Jays got into that bullpen, and they did damage, and they raked in game 1. In game 2, the bullpen was never used. So now, if the Dodgers were to go on and win the World Series, could you give Yamamoto the MVP? If no other Dodger does something incredible, if no other Dodger has an amazing series at the plate, and again, I am a touch hesitant to talk about this because it's only game 2, and the Dodgers have to win 3 more games. But I was asked the question numerous times, could you give Yamamoto the MVP for what just happened? And I think you have to at least entertain the idea because of how valuable that start could wind up being. The fact that they go tonight with a completely rested bullpen, and if there's any worry about Glasnow, you're going to go and grab a bullpen arm, the high leverage bullpen arms, and bring them in for the Dodgers and feel pretty good about it. Then you've got tomorrow in game 4, you have Shohei pitching. So you have Ohtani going to the mound tomorrow. So, I mean, just an incredible performance for Yamamoto to do that in back-to-back starts. It's rare do we see it once, right? Complete games are such an anomaly right now in Major League Baseball. To see it 2 times in back-to-back starts, 1 time in the National League Championship Series, and the other time in the World Series for Yamamoto. I mean, what an incredible performance. I mean, just a domination to see it. It's, very, very, very cool to see that. Number 4, the books got destroyed on Sunday. I mean, if you were a quote unquote public bettor, and not to say who is and who is not, how about this? Going into tonight, because we have the Chiefs, obviously, in a pretty big handle game going tonight with KC hosting Washington. Week 8, if you blindly bet the favorite and the over in the NFL, you went an astounding 16-3. 16-3 in one push. A $100 bettor would be up $1,270 if you just blindly bet favorite and over. Blowout on blowout. The best game, the only game that had any drama, were the Jets and the Bengals. Only game that even brought even a little bit of interest. I mean, look up and down the scoreboard. I mean, we saw so many points being scored. Everyone kind of forgot to play defense. I mean, Sunday Night Football, 35-25. Packers and the Steelers. I mean, the Patriot game was high scoring. I mean, every week, the auto play for the rest of the year has to be the over with the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Dallas can't stop anybody. They're going to score a bunch of points, but they can't stop anybody. Even the Baltimore game went over. I mean, what are we doing? There's just so many points being scored. The Falcons getting blown out by the Dolphins. How do you get blown out by the Dolphins? How does that happen? It's incredible. Oh, look at Kelsey. What's up, Kelsey? Oh, very cool. Happy to see you. Thank you you should just hit me up. I would have put you on the show. My gosh, good to see you. I think if you are a football fan, those games stunk yesterday. There was nothing fun. I mean, if your team won big, like my team won big, then okay. I mean, I guess that was entertaining, but the best game being Joe Flacco getting beat by Justin Fields and the Jets. Like, that's the best game? Yikes. I don't know about that. Number 3 for my top 5 favorite things of the weekend, Brian Kelly getting fired. It's not that I am happy that Brian Kelly got fired, but we talked about it for the better part of a week leading into the game against Texas A&M. I said, look, if he gets blown out at home, he's getting fired. Like, the writing was on the wall. After what Penn State did, after what Florida did, you then saw LSU as the most, the next logical, I always call them a franchise. They're not a franchise, but organization. I can't call them institutions anymore. They're not really colleges. They're professional teams masquerading as college teams, but $50+ million buyout now to be paid out to Brian Kelly, because Brian Kelly went 5-3 this year. Brian Kelly never made it to the college football playoffs. The new version of the old version. Brian Kelly never took LSU there. What's so fascinating about this story, if you are a college football fan, is that Brian Kelly was the most successful coach in the history of Notre Dame football. An incredible institution. Touchdown Jesus, right? Rudy and everything else that goes into Notre Dame. He was the most successful coach to ever be on the sidelines in South Bend, Indiana. And he left on his own, volition. He chose to leave. Okay. He left to go pursue a national championship because, in his own words, he said, I cannot win a national championship at Notre Dame. So I'm going to go to LSU. I'm going to go to the SEC. I'm going to test my skills in the best conference in America because I want to win a national championship. Well, it's one of those be careful what you wish for type things, because when you get it and you realize that it's a little bit different than you think, really a bad situation for Brian Kelly. Never won a national championship, never was able to even sniff an opportunity to win a championship at LSU, and now he's fired. Will he be the next coach of Penn State? I think it makes the most sense. I mean, it's so obvious to everyone that he should be the next coach of Penn State. He has the pedigree. He has the ties. He has the track record. He can understand how to deal with the fan base. I mean, it really just comes down to whether or not he wants to coach at Penn State, and does Penn State want him to coach there? I mean, that's kind of the only conversation here, because he's available. I don't think he would be a good fit at Florida, and I don't think he'd be a good fit at most schools outside of the Northeast. I think Brian Kelly should just go back to where his roots are and where he has had the most success, because he had to fake it with LSU and everybody knew it. I mean, whether it be doing weird things on TikTok and that whole like circular camera thing that was popping up like crazy last night. The family line is the one everyone runs to with Brian Kelly, but he has to figure out who he is again. Like, what type of coach is he again? If he wants to keep coaching, I mean, the guy's in his mid 60s. He doesn't have to keep going. He's going to get 50 plus million if he does nothing. Now, he has language in his contract very similar to what James Franklin has, the offset language, meaning like you have to go find a job. And when you do, the salary that you sign will then offset how much money we owe you as an LSU institution to pay you to leave. So we'll see how much money right now, it's the second biggest buyout besides Jimbo Fisher. The same athletic director signed both Jimbo Fisher and Brian Kelly to the same buyouts, and that guy still has a job in college football, which is amazing. But the amount of money that is going to get paid from LSU to Brian Kelly is still somewhat up in the air. We don't really know exactly how much money he'll get, but he'll get a lot. He'll get a lot. So yeah, Ross, it's a great point. Ross Randall, where do I apply to be a fired head coach of 2025? 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those, like, if you're Brian Kelly, if you're James Franklin, if you're, Billy Napier, the golden parachute is unbelievable. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. And where those guys wind up, I don't really know. I mean, to be frank, I don't know where those three coaches, I don't know if Napier gets a job right away. Not at a power 4 level. I think James Franklin's getting one of the openings, maybe Vatek, if he wants to coach at Virginia Tech. If he wants to stay in the Northeast, I think Vatek, although that's kind of like mid-South, if Vatek wants him, he could wind up coaching there. But I think there's a good shot that Brian Kelly and Penn State get together, unless Penn State wants to go a totally different direction. I don't think Matt Rule is going to be the guy. I don't think Matt Rule is leaving. So I think by people I've talked to in Nebraska, it sounds like Matt Rule is comfortable where he is and thinks he can win in the Big Ten and isn't really looking to leave to go to a different Big Ten school, having to rebuild everything at Penn State, even though he's from there and has a lot of history. So could you imagine James Franklin, LSU? I've heard that, Joe. That rumor is, I agree with you, it's a clown show, but I've seen people speculate that James Franklin might wind up going to LSU. That's as bad of a fit as Brian Kelly. They got to go. I do think they're going to go to the family, though. I think there's somebody who's going to have some pretty big ties. And I mean, even Saban joked around about it with Pat McAfee on the pregame show on Saturday, saying, his wife is very interested in the numbers being thrown around. He wants to stay retired, but the size of these contracts that are being offered, Nick Saban would be the biggest of biggest whales to go and, can you imagine him going back to LSU? Saban comes off the sidelines to coach LSU. How would Alabama fans feel about that if Saban went back to LSU? So, number 2, Drake Maye just might be him. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for Drake Maye? Because I've been really quiet. I've been really hesitant to get into this because I don't even want to believe it, because the level of competition was down until he just played the number 1 defense in the NFL and ripped them apart. Drake Maye joined an elite club of quarterbacks with 200 yards passing and 100+ passer rating in 7 or more consecutive games within a season at any age. Rodgers, Brady, Manning twice all won the MVP. They all won the MVP that year. Rodgers twice in 11 and 20, Brady in 07, Manning in 04. Oh, sorry, Mahomes in 18. Excuse me. Sorry, I misread that. Mahomes at 18. Those guys all won the MVP those years when they did that. 200 yards passing plus, 100+ passer rating for 7 consecutive games. If you go and take it one step farther in the history of the NFL, in weeks 1 to 8, Drake Maye is having a top 10 season. Look at the names that Drake Maye is a part of in terms of his passing leaders all time through the first 8 weeks of an NFL season. Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, Russell Wilson, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Matthew Stafford, and oh, by the way, the kid who's barely old enough to drink, and Drake Maye. This is ridiculous what Drake Maye is doing. Look, I know Stephon Diggs is a good receiver, but this is not the 07 Patriots. There is no Randy Moss, okay? You look at all the weapons that those receivers, all those quarterbacks had to throw to. I mean, the Patriots wideout crew is good, but I wouldn't say it's elite. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best in the NFL. I don't think people look at the Patriots roster and go, damn, they got some dudes to catch the football for Drake Maye. Like, this is Drake Maye. This is him. This is what he's doing. This is just what he's doing. Forget what, the teammates around him are doing. He got sacked 5 times by Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett set a new Cleveland Brown record for sacks in a single game. And Drake Maye still did that yesterday to them. Drake Maye still let them up, even with Myles Garrett wrecking, different plays at different times. Drake Maye has got some big games coming up, but the Patriots, the flex rules for TV are going to be very interesting to see what the networks do with Drake Maye and the Patriots. Okay, let's see what happens. Amanda's in the chat. Everyone's in the chat. My gosh, everyone's in the chat today. I'm now in. Okay, I've been, and Amanda will tell you, I've been very skeptical on Drake Maye. I've been hesitant because of his age, because of the receivers, and because of the schedule. Okay, I have been somewhat hesitant to go and say, all right, let's go. We got our guy. We got the dude that not just is going to be good now, but it's going to be good for a long time. And this is a lot to Josh McDaniels. Okay, you have to acknowledge that the Patriots have one of the best offensive coordinators of all time. Okay, Drake Maye is being coached by a guy who cannot be a head coach ever again in the NFL. But Josh is so good at creating offenses and building easy, simple plays that are so difficult to stop. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch this offense for the Patriots. He was 8 for 8 in the second half. I don't know. Oh, dude, you haven't. Yes, you think I've been loud about the Patriots? I've been quiet about the Patriots. I've been quiet. I haven't talked my shit at all. Okay, I haven't ran my mouth. I've been quiet. Look at the shows on Friday. I haven't said anything really. I've been very quiet about a 6-2 football team who's about to play the Atlanta Falcons at home, who lost to the Dolphins at home. The Patriots are going to be 7-2. They're going to be 7-2. The Bills better keep on doing what the Bills are doing, but the Pats have the tiebreak over the Bills. You start playing this out, it's not just a MVP conversation. And I had this talk 3 weeks ago on Twitter with a very prominent Dolphin fan that I know about the fact that the Patriots, he thought it was laughable that people in New England were talking about the 1 seed. And after every win, I keep on reminding him, is this laughable? When does it become laughable? When's the laughable stop about the Patriots and the 1 seed? Because the schedule is a joke. I'm not going to defend the schedule for the Patriots. It's a joke. Okay, they're playing the worst teams. They have a last place schedule with a head coach, an offensive coordinator, and an MVP quarterback. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to. Wow, you're going to bet the Falcons. Tip of the cap. Anybody taking the Falcons? I got all you. Absolutely all you if you're taking the Falcons. Go ahead. Patriots win. They're at home. Drake Maye should have another big game. Vrabel is such a damn good coach. He is coach of the year at the moment. I mean, we're approaching the halfway point of the season, okay? We got a lot of football to go. We're not even to Halloween yet, okay? I'll give you all that. But there's no way you look at the Patriots and go, that team is not rising. That team's getting better every single week. Now the defense is playing. They're getting better every week. I mean, this is 6-2 to 7-2. Okay. Like, I'm in. Let's go. I'm in with the Patriots. I've been on the sidelines, a little hesitant to say, okay, how good could they be? They've played the Bills already, and they beat the Bills. Okay, before you go, well, it's Buffalo. All right, they've already played the Bills. We'll play a good defense. Okay, that was the number one defense in football. Like, what's next? Like, what thing are you going to say next before? And even I have been very hesitant to jump in with both feet because I can see those are valid arguments. Those are valid criticisms or questions about what the Patriots are doing. And also the fact that Drake Maye is younger than my sister. Like, Drake Maye is really, really young. And yet he throws the deep ball he throws. It's surprising when the ball hits the ground. Like, you are shocked when the ball's not caught. It's like, oh, wow, they didn't catch it. That's amazing. Every time he throws and drops back, you're like, okay, what's next? How big of a play? 2 tight ends that are decent. 1 wideout. Stephon Diggs is coming off of an ACL injury last year. Keishawn Butte couldn't get on the field last year. I mean, like, Butte was like not even a factor at all. And all of a sudden, he's like a legitimate threat, like a real problem for defenses. Unbelievable. But number one, okay, to stop the Patriot love fest, it is remarkable that the center of the football universe is in the state of Indiana. It really is crazy to stop and go, okay, where is all the energy for football? All the energy for football is in Indiana. Indiana just pulled off something that hasn't happened in a long time. 2018 was the last time a team blew out 2 Power 4 opponents by 50 or more points. Indiana destroyed Illinois, and then they destroyed UCLA on Saturday. Then you put it into with the Colts, who were the only 7-1 football team. They beat the Titans 38-14. I mean, if you're a Colt fan, you have to be in love with what's going on because it's not just about Daniel Jones. Now, Jonathan Taylor is an incredible athlete, and he had another huge game yesterday. So he's a big, big factor in this team. But Shane Steichen has had quality starts before, but September and the end of October, or the middle part of October, like the first 6 weeks, that's when he's been good. And then things start to turn right around right now. Like under Shane Steichen, historically speaking, fast starts, really bad finishes. But when you take apart a team like the Titans yesterday and you are dominant and you start to see the way Daniel Jones is playing and the MVP level, and I can't believe we're not having larger conversations about Daniel Jones and the MVP. It's people have such big PTSD from what Daniel Jones did back in the day. I mean, it's incredible. But Indiana with 2 50-point wins, Clemson in 2018, that was the last time that happened. I don't know. I don't have votes, okay? But I know Ohio State's good, but if I had a vote, Indiana's the best team in the country. I'm not sure how, like, what's the knock on Indiana so they're not the best team in the country? Like, you just like Ohio State more? Well, why? Because it's Ohio State? We're voting on brand names? Indiana should be the best team in the country. Indiana should be number one. It's kind of stunning that Indiana is not number one, to be quite honest. They're destroying everyone in their path. And look, you could say that Kirk Cignetti is running the score up, and you could say that Kirk Cignetti is doing a disservice to the teams he's playing. I don't care. He, right now, is the best coach in football. Like, there's not a lot of conversation here. He's the best coach in college football. And Indiana has locked him down. He's not going anywhere, which is huge. And he's changing the narrative about Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state, guys. Like, this is the basketball state. You want to talk about states? Indiana's 1, Massachusetts 2, okay? In terms of like states that love basketball, Indiana and Massachusetts. Well, I just gave you number 2 football, Massachusetts, and number 1 football, Indiana. It's changing the narrative. Although Tom Brady was the one that did that with Massachusetts, but it's still, for Indiana, I think it's hard for a lot of people to kind of wrap their brains around the idea that Indiana and Ohio State will play for the Big Ten championship. And then we'll see, because the last time that happened, it didn't go so well. Okay. And I think that is Kentucky's in the conversation. I'll give that to you. They're probably 3. That's probably 3. But Kentucky doesn't have a college basketball, an NBA franchise. So that kind of hurts Kentucky on that. So that's tough. Indiana's got the Pacers. Indiana's got high school basketball. Indiana's got, IU. I would put in Indiana's number 1 because of the professionals. Look, the Pacers played in the NBA Finals last year and probably would have won it if it wasn't for Halliburton blowing out his Achilles. So Indiana's 1. Boston Celtics play in Boston. James Naismith went ahead and invented basketball in Springfield, Mass. So that's why Springfield, Mass is over Kentucky. So that's why I put Massachusetts, just from the origin story, success, Celtics, UMass basketball. The one thing we are decent at UMass is basketball. So I would say that, but I don't know. Steichen plus the 650 coach of the year. Don't mind it. I think it'll be interesting because of what Vrabel, Mike Vrabel's got 6 wins right now. The Patriots had 4 wins all year last year, and they had 4 wins in the last year of Bill Belichick. And he's got, if he wins this week, he'll have 7 wins. He's going to blow those 2 things out of the water on that. So like, I that's going to be a fun race to watch. Who's going to be coach of the year? I think that's where the Patriots brand comes in a little bit. And I'm not saying it's right, but I do think that, same way that Ohio State is ranked number 1 over Indiana right now, I think Steichen may run into the fact that Vrabel is the coach of the Patriots and he's the coach of the Colts. So that could be a little bit of a problem with the whole situation, but that's going to be a fun race. Yeah, it's good. I agree, Addison. That's going to be a fun race to watch to see how that all plays out. They're both going to be in the playoffs. The question is going to be, if the Patriots don't win the East and the Bills do, and the Colts win the South, but the South is so bad, how much weight does a division title carry with the voters if Steichen wins in a division with just some really bad football teams? But then again, the Patriots and the Bills, there's 2 good teams and there's 2 awful teams in the East. So it's not like, heads and tails, the South is like that much worse than the East. It's really just like 1 better team. So 2 out of 4 versus 1 out of 4. So, there we go with that. So 2 50-point wins for Indiana. Center of the entire football universe is in the state of Indiana. When's the last time we said that, if ever? Let's talk about what happened this weekend, because a lot of things happened this weekend beyond just those 5 things we talked about. All right, the average margin of victory so far in week 18, 18.3 points. 18.3 points. Point spread, what? Like, didn't matter, okay? The biggest point spread was 14.5. That was the Colts over the Titans. Jets win over the Bengals was the best game. The Jets over the Bengals was the best game at 39-38, and that was a good game. Unbelievable choke job by the Bengals, who consistently, without Joe Burrow, consistently choke. And I'm going to ask the question again, how does Zach Taylor have a job? Finally, people are starting to ask the right questions in Cincinnati. We are finally seeing people asking for Zach Taylor to be fired in Cincinnati. Again, the time has come. He can't coach, guys. He was so lucky to get Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got him to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow got him an extension. I get that the Bengals are owned by a family group that hates to fire coaches. I get all that. But the Jets were 0-7. You had a double-digit lead at home, and you lost it to the Jets. How do you lose to the Jets? And how do you sit there and go, the Steelers lost to the Packers? If you win that game, if the Bengals win that game, they would be a half a game out of first place right now. Isn't that crazy? If they just beat the lowly 0-7 Jets, a team they had down and beaten in the fourth quarter, if they just win that game, they're in the conversation to win the division. The Steelers are in reverse. They're going backwards. The team to win the division now, the Baltimore Ravens, who have 2 wins. 2 wins, and they're the odds-on favorite to win the division because their schedule is really easy. And the Bengals stink, and the Steelers stink. Yes, the Steelers stink. The whole division's bad, really. Okay, the Browns are bad. Browns stink, like we know. Ravens, for all their horrific 2-5 start, are still very much alive to go win the division because of what's going on in Pittsburgh and in Cincinnati. But Zach Taylor, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? The Dolphins blew up the Falcons with Kirk Cousins starting, making it 2 of the top 3 survivor picks go down. This is brutal. I mean, easy win for the Colts, okay? So those 1,452 people, they advanced. 1,387 entries on the Falcons, 765 entries on the Bengals, and that cut the remaining 4,210 basically in half. We're basically cut in half now. We're down to about 2,000 entries left in Circuit Survivor. Our guy, Adam Bjorn, got 3 left. He's got 3 entries left. But that was just typical Survivor, right? You go into it, you're like, all right, the Falcons against the pathetic Dolphins. Falcons at home are a totally different team than Falcons on the road, right? Falcons lost on the road 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers. They beat teams at home. That's a tough team to face. They're, when they have Michael Penix, okay, he's out, but Kirk Cousins is a very good backup. Even he should be able to beat the Dolphins. They're favored by 7 points. They should be able to beat they got smoked. Bijan Robinson did nothing in that game. That was shocking. Everybody was on Bijan this, Bijan that. Over on receptions, over on yardage, over on rushing attempts, everything. Bijan was not a factor in that football game at all. Oh, Chef Benny, you had both Cincy and Atlanta? Oh. That's brutal. That's brutal. But that yesterday, I mean, this is when Survivor contests get interesting because we talked about it on Friday. It just felt like a very odd week. The numbers were so inflated. And frankly, they were right to be inflated, as we talked about. I mean, Newbie and I were both like, be really careful laying points. We were dead wrong. Average margin, 18.3 points. Dead wrong. Favorites absolutely and totally crushed yesterday. Crushed. 16-3-1. Favorites and overs. Points. Favorites. Okay. I mean, this is, it makes it hard. It makes it hard. What about Houston, Yorkie? What do you mean? The win for Houston? It was impressive. I mean, I faded Houston. But I took the over. I bet over 41.5. It closed at 41. I wish I waited. I bet it overnight when it was 41.5. It closed at 41. What did it fall? 41. Good number by the books. Closed at 41. And I mean, Mac Jones, he not only that interception he threw when they had the ball on the 25-yard line driving down by 10. He blew 2 bets for me on that because a field goal makes the game go over. So then I cashed my over bet. And I also teased it. I teased the 49ers up to 8.5. And they would have lost by 8. They were down by 11. Sorry. They're down by 11 in that moment. So a field goal there, which I think they would have kicked a field goal, even if they didn't get the touchdown. I think Shanahan kicks the field goal because they needed 2 possessions anyway. So I think he was throwing a deep shot, just trying to go for the touchdown. And then they would have kicked the field goal. And then a pathetic underthrow by Mac Jones. That was the Patriots version of Mac Jones. So many Patriot fans had watched that exact exchange where you see all the good that Mac Jones does. You see the potential. You see the timing. You see the toughness. You see all of it. And then he makes a throw that you say, how in the hell did you make that throw? You cannot leave a fly pattern short with the game on the line. It's either your guy gets it or nobody gets it. You can't do that. You just simply cannot allow that throw to be made. You cannot do that. And if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're like, this is why you're going to be a career backup, because in the key moments, in the most important moments of a decision that you have to make in an NFL game, Mac Jones is not the guy. He's just not the guy. And that's why Brock Purdy will get his job back. It's why Brock Purdy has the big contract and why Mac Jones will be a clipboard holder for the rest of his career, because he does not make the plays when you have to make them. He'll make them in between the 20s, and he'll make them, in the second quarter, in the third quarter. But come the fourth quarter, you cannot trust Mac Jones. Absolutely not. That was a horrible throw. And yes, I'm very angry because it burned 2 bets for me on that. I had a losing day because of that play. I have a winning day. If he doesn't throw that pick and they kick a field goal, I have a winning day. I have a losing day because of that. Pissed me off. To basketball, Wembanyama does it again. He becomes the first player in NBA history to record 100 points and 15 blocks in the first 3 games of the regular season. If you guys aren't paying attention to what's going on right now in San Antonio, you really should. I mean, the Spurs are going to be a must watch, like an absolute must watch, not just because the 7'5" guy's playing basketball and he looks different. Like, he just doesn't look, of all the players, like, you watch Wembanyama and you're like, that guy just, how is that happening? How at 7'5" are you doing that? How are you jumping? How are you dunking? How are you running? How are you playing defense? Like, he is everything the Spurs thought he was going to be when they tanked to get him. And he is going to be the face of the league. Like, he is that guy. And as long as he stays healthy, which is a big question mark for a guy that size. But if he stays healthy, this year, going forward, Victor Wembanyama is incredible. Like, he is absolutely an incredible, incredible athlete to watch. All right, let's go to tonight. Everyone's talking about it. Sports Equinox. 31st time in the history of professional sports in America. First time was back in 1971. Honest question, chat. You guys tell me in the chat. Is this cool? Do you like that everyone's hyping this up? Or is this just a day in which the schedule is aligned and who cares? Why are we so gaga over 4 leagues all playing on the same day? We've got Monday Night Football. We have Game 3 of the World Series. We have 2 games in the NHL, and we have a litany of games in the NBA. All right. You guys like it? All right. Chat likes it. Okay. Well, if you like it, I got something for you guys coming up here in a second during Just the Picks. Washington at Kansas City. Numbers down to 11. Interesting. Kind of surprised at that. Total is 48. Weather could be an issue. If any of you guys, if JC from Casey's in the chat, give us a weather report. Tell me where we are here on the weather. Supposedly it's going to be raining and chilly tonight at Arrowhead, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm not saying bet the under for that reason, but it does impact, I think, the way the game just goes from a flow perspective. We could see more running of the football. Kareem Hunt is playing today, by the way. Everybody, it's talking on the Daily Juice, like, Kareem Hunt's not playing. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, Jimmy, I've tried. So this is a little bit of inside school thing, but I have tried to create polls. I can't do it when I'm doing this. Like, it's too much because YouTube has changed the way that polls get created. And I know why they did it. They did it because they wanted to make it more interactive and they wanted to make it more prominent. But what it's done is that I can't access it when I'm doing everything on StreamYard. I can't access it the same way I used to. So the answer is no. I can't, because it's tough to do that. But I want to. I have looked at it. I'm still efforting, trying to figure out a more simplistic way to do it. But we run things through StreamYard, and StreamYard has changed the way it talks to YouTube, and that's what creates a problem to have the poll. I think what will happen is that I think StreamYard will create a poll system, and we'll have the poll going on here. But I tried it a couple of weeks ago, and it was bad. It didn't work at all. It was a brutal L with that. So I wasn't able to do it. But good question about the total, that Washington's not stopping anything tonight, Yorkie. I don't. So here's the question. 3 games in a row, the KC Chiefs have scored 30 or more points. Last time they lost, they scored 28. Their team total is 30.5 pretty much everywhere. You can move it at DraftKings down to 29.5, and it was minus 125. So that's probably still the case right now. I chose to stay off of it because I feel like the Chiefs defense might be able to really hold down Washington. And just given the way that Andy Reid has called games. So like, let's say the Chiefs are up like 20-3, right? Are they going to be throwing the ball deep? Are they going to put Patrick Mahomes back there on 5 and 7 step drops? I don't think so. I think they'll probably run the football and get the hell out of there. I think that factors in. Like I could easily see the Chiefs scoring 30 points tonight. Okay. I could see them high flying Chief offense up and down the field. Worthy's getting involved and they've got Hollywood Brown involved and Kelsey's involved. And I could see all of that. Okay. Yes. 100%. That could be the possibility of the game. But what if they score 27? Like what if they win 27-6? Like they kill Washington. It's still a really impressive game. It goes way under 48 points. And I think that's why the number's not 50 or 51. And that's why the team total for the Chiefs is 30.5. If you move it 29.5, you play around with it, but like it gets expensive pretty quickly. So I don't know what to make of this game. I'm staying off of this game. I'm not touching the total. I'm not touching the side. I mean, now at 11, you could talk about potentially, you can pull it down to 6-point teaser. You can pull it down to 5. It's not horrible, getting it below 6 for Kansas City. Take the total and pull it down to 42 and go over. You can do that. But I mean, Yorkie, Marcus Mariota is not awful. He's won games in the NFL. He's won games this season in the NFL. Okay. Don't totally sleep on Deebo Samuel. Like, don't totally sleep on the guy. I mean, there are some guys on that team that can score. So before I would just completely write off Washington tonight and say like, there's no chance. This is the NFL. We've seen this before, and everyone is so high on the Chiefs. This number is so high. If you go by what we saw yesterday, this should be a 21-point destruction. Like the Chiefs should ruin them, but everyone's talking about what happened yesterday. Everyone's talking about the blowouts. We've been around this before, guys. Like, we weren't born yesterday. We know that the NFL, these are the games that could be a little bit tricky. These are the games that could be tricky for the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, we're talking here on Tuesday. We're off tomorrow, but on Wednesday, and we're going, what the heck happened to the Chiefs on Monday night? So Casey should kill him. Casey should absolutely destroy tonight. I just don't know. Blue Jays and the Dodgers, game 3 tonight. Good pitching matchup. Glasnow going tonight. Max Scherzer on the mound for the Blue Jays. Pretty big favorite for the Dodgers. Minus 205. But the total is 8.5. So I told you in game 1 and game 2, it was correlated. Over in the Blue Jays, under in the Dodgers. So what happened? Game 1, flew over. Blue Jays won. Game 2, under. Didn't fly under, but it was under. Dodgers win. Dodgers win tonight. Game goes under. 8.5. Like, Glasnow's got to be as good as he's been over the last couple of starts. If Glasnow gives up 1 or 2 earned runs over 6 or 7 innings, the Dodgers can come in with their power arms and they can shut down this offense. They win the game 4-2, win the game 5-2. Very possible. Okay. I don't see like a 3-2 game personally, but maybe. I mean, that's potential. If the Blue Jays get to Glasnow and the Blue Jays do in game 3 what they did in game 1, which is get to the bullpen, they can win this game and they can take back home field. And if the Blue Jays win this game, we're going 6, we're probably going 7. It's going to be a very long series and a very entertaining series if the Blue Jays wind up winning this game here tonight. I like the Dodgers to win the game because of Glasnow and the way he has pitched, but I'm not betting it. I'm not, although I kind of am, but I'll explain in a second. I'm not fully betting it, but great game tonight, great pitching matchup, great storylines. It'll be a really fun atmosphere out west here with the Dodgers. And if the Blue Jays get on the board first, they can win the game. Blue Jays can absolutely win tonight. It's going to be funny. Yeah. And this is a great point. Is 25 Scherzer, not 15 Scherzer? Yes, I agree, CBW. But Max has been pretty good. And big game Max, I'm not sure I'm going to fade, big game Max. I'd be a little bit concerned about fading that, just given where he is. And one game in the NBA to comment on, Cavs Pistons. Good game. Old school, throwback. Cavs Pistons. Pistons just beat the Celtics last night. They're on a back-to-back. Cavaliers, yes, they're without Garland still, but they've gotten off to a good start. This is a good game. This is a good learning game in the NBA tonight to watch these two teams to see, okay, who it's going to be. I mean, the Knicks have gotten off to a very good start. Knicks look good. Cavaliers, Pistons. Let's see who the pecking order is going to be in the East. Good matchup spot. If you're looking for an NBA game to watch tonight, Cavs Pistons, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that's going to wind up playing. Yeah, Detroit basketball's been fun. CBW, I don't understand the move on Boston. I know they're 0-3, but I mean, on this road trip, I mean, it's Zion against the Celtics. They can't rebound. I mean, Zion's going to get a ton of boards tonight. Boston's got a rebounding problem. They don't have an offensive problem. They got a rebounding problem. Their defense is great. They can't rebound and they can't score as consistently as they would like, as expected, because they were built around Jason Tatum, and they don't have Jason Tatum. So, it's hard. And frankly, the knee injury for the knee surgery for Jaylen Brown, he's still coming back from that knee surgery. He still doesn't look right to me. He doesn't look explosive. Doesn't look as quick as he should. It's all very early. I mean, I know Boston's 0-3, but it's all very early for the NBA. So, let's see what happens going forward. I like the defensive effort for Boston. I just think that they need to rebound the basketball more and then get some more timely scoring, but long season. 0-3 is a bad start. I'm not sure if I'm betting them tonight though, but I'm not sure who I'd go ahead and jump in on if I was jumping in on that. Let's make some bets for tonight. And yes, here is your Equinox 4-leg parlay. It is time for Just the Picks, new sponsor, our friends at Betting Pros. The prop bet cheat sheet is now going to be the sponsor of Just the Picks for the foreseeable future. If you guys haven't heard me talk about our friends, it's my other job, my other thing that I've talked about quite a bit, but maybe some of you guys don't know about the prop bet cheat sheet, where to find the prop bet cheat sheet, you guys can go and check it out at Betting Pros. You can go to bettingpros.com/props to go and check out what is available with Betting Pros for this. You guys can look at NFL action, NBA action, Major League Baseball action with the prop bet cheat sheet. There's different cheat sheets for every sport. The NFL prop bet cheat sheet shows you the best value on plays every day. You can get daily prop bet value rankings based on projections and find the best props in all major passing, rushing, and receiving stat categories. Up to date heading into tonight, the 5-star plays, they are ranked 1-star to 5-star. The 5-star plays have a win rate and an ROI, a win rate of 59.07%, an ROI of 13.5%. That's good for being up 93.1 units for the prop bet cheat sheet in the NFL. You can use it now by going to bettingpros.com/props, or you can go and download the Betting Pros app and check out the prop bet cheat sheet. All right, let's talk about this sports equinox. You guys want it? Here it is. Here's a 4-leg money line parlay with the biggest favorites on the board in every sport. Okay? This is chalk. It's only a plus 186 parlay, if you can believe that. The Chiefs are laying $7. Yep. KC money line. The Dodgers are laying $2. Dodgers money line, which might be the most shaky of the bets. The Senators against the Bruins. Boston has not been good. Boston has really been, they got a win over the Avalanche in their last game at home 2 days ago or yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago. But now they're on the road at Ottawa. Ottawa's good at home. Ottawa money line, and the Rockets to beat the Brooklyn Nets. That's the biggest minus 1,500 on this. That is a plus 186 money line sports equinox parlay of Chiefs, Dodgers, Senators, and Rockets. 4 sports, 4 shocky winners. Best of luck to you if you want to go ahead and play that. It's only a plus 186 parlay. That is insane. It's insane. If that hits, okay. But for 4 legs to be under 2-1 is laughable. It's absolutely laughable. I would not go ahead and do that. Everyone's doing this ish. Everyone is doing parlays. Everyone is finding, what they would do on this. Yes, I'm laughing because it's a ridiculous It's a ridiculous. That is a stupid bet. Okay. Straight up. That's a stupid bet. Okay. Just FYI, that's a dumb bet. Addison, no, it didn't matter because all I did was I looked for the biggest favorite on the board because of what just happened yesterday in the NFL. So I don't care. I didn't handicap anything. That is not a handicap breakdown parlay. That is simply me going to the board and saying, what is the biggest favorite? What's the biggest chalk number I can find to go ahead and lay it? KC, Dodgers, Senators, Rockets. Those are the biggest favorites on the board in all four of those sports. The probability of this hitting is probably like 5%. Okay. Like that is, we'll talk about it on the Discord channel later tonight. Chiefs, Dodgers, Senators, Rockets. There is your 4-leg sports equinox parlay if you want it for the 31st time of a sports equinox coming up. Now, for the more serious bets, if you want to get into it, Kareem Hunt. This is from the prop bet cheat sheet. Kareem Hunt to go over 5.5 rushing attempts. I laid 140 last night. It's now down to 118. He wasn't going to play. Then he was yesterday ruled in, and then the prop bet cheat sheet jumped in. This is a weather play for me, and it's a game script play for me. I actually think the Chiefs could blow out the Commanders. And if they blow out the Commanders, I think they just run the clock and they just give the ball to Kareem Hunt. He's gone over this 5 straight games before last week, and he had 4 carries last week because he's a bit nicked up. So as long as he's not totally injured, I think they run him. And I think they give him 6 carries tonight because I think they want to burn clock. If they're up big against the Commanders, I think they go ahead and run the football. Kareem Hunt over 5.5 rushing attempts tonight here going in. To baseball, Addison Barger, run, hit, RBI over 0.5. I need 1 run, 1 hit, or 1 RBI. Here's a fun fact. He has faced up against Tyler Glasnow 1 time this year, or 1 game this year, 4 at-bats. Do you know what he did in that game? Bomb. Hit a home run off of him. So he sees him well. Just need a single out of Addison Barger today. It's a little juicy, like minus 150, somewhere in that range, minus 145. Shop around, see if you can get a better price on that. But run, hit, and RBI over 0.5 for Addison Barger today for the Blue Jays up against the Dodgers. Playing right field, batting 6th tonight here for the Dodgers. And it's back. It's back. Gifts. Our boy Chris Otto, the awesome, amazing spreadsheet that he does is back. The Boston Bruins are 8 of 10 for a goal in the first 10 minutes. For those of you guys who are new to the program, new to hockey gambling, when we say gift, we're not talking about a present. We're talking about a goal in the first 10 minutes. It is back. The Senators have been at a 66% clip through their 9 games. 6 of 9 times the Senators have had a goal in the first 10 minutes. Boston 8 in 10 in the first 10 minutes. We're going gift for the Bruins and the Senators. I laid 140 last night, which generally speaking, I hate that. Like, I hate that. But I think it happens. I think it happens. Goal in the first 10 minutes. Addison, how do you feel about goal in the first 10 minutes? Bruins, Senators. This is literally, there are a few bets in the BVB brigade that we assign to 1 or 2 people, but Addison 100% gets credit for naming this the gift and bringing the GIF, GIFF, goal in the first 5 minutes to our attention. The over 1.5 goals is what we played a lot, and then he shrunk it down. Oh, look at that. There you go. All right, Addison tailed it. Nice job. Okay. Goal in the first 10 minutes. Bruins, Senators tonight. It is a little juicy. I'll admit it's a little bit on the expensive side, but I think it's 100% worth it. Goal in the first 10 minutes for the Bruins and the Senators tonight here for this one. I think this is going to be a fun game. Looking forward to watching with that. We have spent so much time talking about this topic. How could we not get to a news of the industry today? Because boy, oh boy, Nevada has gone first. A prediction market is literally on that actual newspaper for my cat. Nevada has decided, yep, no thank you. We are banning it. The Nevada Gaming Control Board sent a letter confirming to Crypto.com and all gaming/sports prediction markets platforms they must stop offering event contracts as of next Monday. November the 3rd, Nevada will enforce what a judge allowed them to do on Friday. We have talked so much about this. The Nevada Gaming Control Board wrote to one, but it pretty much goes to everyone else. The win for the state against prediction markets. It was Crypto.com was denied a preliminary injunction by a federal judge in a cease and desist lawsuit. It will not offer sport event contracts in Nevada until the case is resolved. Now, that's not just Crypto.com. That's going to go as well onto Kalshi. So far, 2 federal courts have banned prediction markets from operating within a state's border. In Maryland, in which a judge ruled that Kalshi must stop offering event contracts in the state agreed to allow it to continue to offer it there until there's a resolution on that case. We're seeing more and more. Massachusetts is potentially going to be next on the line here for them. But this feels like the legal walls are starting to close in. Arkansas became the latest, where their attorney general believes that all Kalshi is doing is offering a rebranded form of gambling, and that Kalshi is violating state law by operating in Arkansas without a license. Like, this is all stuff that we have talked forever about. Okay. On this show, I think, again, I'm not against prediction markets. And so I was having a conversation yesterday about taking money from Kalshi and like, why would you not take money from Kalshi? And I said, well, Kalshi's already offered me money, and I've told them no, that I don't want to take Kalshi's money. And this isn't that kind of short-sighted? Like, why would you not take money from anybody? I'll take money from prediction markets as long as the prediction market is operating within the confines of the legality of which I think it should be happening. Now, is that a moral decision by me? Yes, it's a moral decision by me. Is it a dumb business decision by me? Maybe. But as of right now, I'm the only one that has to make that decision. And I will take prediction market advertising. I will. When it resolves itself and I feel like you're not operating around the laws and hurting other partners that we have as part of BVB. Because prediction markets are going to hurt our current sponsor in BetCris Arizona. It's going to hurt Prime Sportsbook. It's going to hurt, although we've seen some different changes inside of the business model for Sport Trade. They're still operating currently as a book. They may flip and become a prediction marketplace, which I would gladly promote Alex Kane and prediction markets. Gladly promote their brand and what they're trying to do if they go with prediction markets. And the reason for that is because Alex has been on this show calling it gambling. He's been on national TV calling it gambling. He's not lying to anyone. He's saying it's gambling. And as long as we're all operating under the same guise that this is gambling, that should say next week, not this week. Sorry. That will be on Monday, not this week, next week for that. But, if we're all operating under the same opinion that a sport prediction marketplace is just another form of gambling and or sports gambling, which is what Alex Kane has called it, as long as we're good, as long as we're all saying that, I'm fine with promoting what you're doing. My problem is that Kalshi calls it gambling in Florida, sports betting in California, and whatever hell they want to make up in court. Like, they just change their opinion left and right about what they're actually doing. And I have a problem with that. I don't believe that that's appropriate. I don't think that's right. I think that that's disingenuous to everyone in the industry and to everybody who came before Kalshi trying to fight the battle of legalization to swoop in and offer a 50-state solution and just say, we're not paying attention to any of your laws and we're going to operate in your state and you can't stop us. Like, that's not what Sport Trade's looking to do. It's not what most of these, of the sports prediction marketplaces. You have seen DraftKings, you have seen FanDuel. They've both gone and bought sports prediction marketplaces companies to operate and have sports prediction marketplaces available. And I'm not against a sports prediction marketplace business. I'm against somebody lying. I'm against somebody saying something publicly that is just disingenuous. It's just wrong. And we're going to run behind some semantical argument about what exactly is. I'm not down with it. I'm just not. So am I being dumb? Am I being short-sighted? Maybe. But, I do tend to think that ultimately Kalshi will be shut down. And I don't believe that Crypto.com and Kalshi, I don't believe the companies that are operating at the moment, I don't believe they'll be allowed to operate in the states they're operating currently. I'm been very confident that they're not going to be allowed to operate here in Nevada. We just proved it. Okay. So come Monday, they will not be offering sports prediction marketplace offerings here. 85-90% of all the traffic to Kalshi is on sports. And they advertise in California and in Texas and in Florida that sports betting is legal in California, in Texas, and in Florida. And it's not. It's not. Florida is, but it's a monopoly. That's always been my problem. That's been my issue with the way that Kalshi is operated. So college is a personal business decision to say no to those types of sponsors. And again, they've tried to, they've wanted to be a part of the show because I think they want to silence us. To be quite honest, I think they want me to stop talking about this topic, but I'm not going to stop. If you guys are watching on the replay, thank you for being here on Sports Grid. Tomorrow we are off. You're going to replay on Sports Grid. You're going to rerun on Sports Grid. Back live on Wednesday for us, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Most likely Adam Bjorn will join us. Where in the world will he be? I have no idea, but we'll do a Betcris Arizona Wednesday coming up in 2 days. I'm traveling back to the East Coast to get my shoulder looked at by my surgeon. So that's why I'm off tomorrow, traveling back to New England, back on Wednesday. For the rest of you guys, bonus time starts now. Oh, Jimmy, the tribes are fighting back tremendously. The tribes are fighting back. There's no debate on that. There's no debate. The tribes are doing that. Mr. Wobble, how are you, my friend? Appreciate you. Really hopping live lately. Hope you know how much appreciate you doing it. Just showing up. Your pick's still stuck. Thank you. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. That's nice of you. I think there's a lot of people who want the competition. And I think I've talked to a couple of professionals who love Kalshi because they can get down whatever amount that they want. There's no police. There's nobody watching. I mean, there's nobody paying attention whatsoever. And in the wake of what we just all witnessed, I mean, I work for a variety of different companies, right? And so all those different companies have different relationships with different sports books. And the sports books are trying very hard to not advertise or be around the prop betting scandal involving the NBA and Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and others, to the point where, like, you saw it went viral, that when they were talking about it on ESPN and ESPN Bet was on the bottom line, that somebody quietly pulled that advertisement down because it was bad to have an ESPN Bet ad up while they were discussing what was going on in the prop betting market and the prop betting scandal. ESPN Bet's not the only one. I've seen numerous books have been very concerned about having their brand around content that is talking about the sports betting scandal. And we're not anywhere close. By the way, Swayman in net tonight for the Bruins. That's not great. I would have rather have seen Corpusalo, but that's fine. I just think if you are involved in sports gambling in any form or fashion, that we have to talk about what happened with Terry Rozier in an honest way, but also in a very clear way about the idiots with the biggest platform who are talking out of their ass have got to be shut down. Like the ones like Mike Florio. I like Mike. Okay. I've known Mike Florio for a very long time. I was one of the first shows. This shows how old I am. Mike Florio was running a renegade blog called Pro Football Talk. There were 4 radio shows he did across the country. And mine was one of the first 5 he ever did a weekly hit with. Okay. Mike Florio took Pro Football Talk, got bought out by NBC Sports, and Mike Florio has become one of the leading, opinion voices in the NFL. Okay. And Mike is a very good guy. I've known Mike for years and years. But Mike Florio also has a family background with gambling that blinds him to what the realities of life in a legalized market is. And this idea that the leagues are going to ban prop betting is completely, sorry, Will, I know I'm on bonus time, but completely fucking wrong. Okay? It is not happening. We are not going to ban prop betting It's not going to happen. And so can we please stop this conversation about, well, the leagues have got to get active here, and the league, they are being active. How do you think they caught them? Like, every single book is now looking and flagging suspicious wagers. This stuff was happening offshore like crazy, like crazy. So like all these things that are happening, all of these things that are going on, we're finding out because of legalization, not in spite of it. We're not seeing, like, you could say that the college kid getting in trouble, that's happening because they're betting more because they think it's okay. But it was still going on. I was still 18 years of age betting with a local bookie. I mean, the first bet on sports I made, I was a freshman in college at UMass. I mean, I'm 48. That was 30 freaking years ago. 30 years ago. This stuff is not new. So when we act like, oh my God, 18-year-olds are betting on football, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is not new. So can we stop this? What's new is that we're hearing about it. What's new is that reporting on it gets you clicks. What's new is that the leagues have a vested interest because they have, read that as money, tied to these relationships. And the league does not want any of this stuff to be called into question. The league wants the gravy trains to keep going. League does not want to stop the money coming from the books. Hell no. They want more, not less. So the leagues are concerned about public perception. They're not concerned about the integrity of the game, really, because this has been going on forever. Like, you don't think guys have been taking money to throw games? It's been happening forever. Now, you want to say, does this call into question the integrity of sports overall? I'll listen to that conversation because it's been going on for 40 years, right? Great question that was posed by, and I forget her name and I apologize, but I'm half Italian. Okay. My mom's maiden name is DeQuattro. My father was, my grandfather was Joseph DeQuattro. Okay. Died at 81 years of age. Joseph DeQuattro is the man that owned Sears Tavern in Lawrence, Massachusetts. He ran numbers out of the back of his bar. He was arrested when I was in high school. It ultimately got dropped and thrown out because I've tried to find the record. I want the arrest record. Like I've looked for the arrest record of my grandfather. It's been scrubbed. So I think he did community service and it got knocked off his record because it's not actually there. But my grandfather looks like somebody who could be in Goodfellas. My grandfather looks like somebody who could be in a Scorsese film pretty easily. Okay. This has been going on for a long time with guys with nicknames like Lefty and, different dudes in different places. Why is Chauncey Billups the face of the FBI's sting involving a poker scandal? I'm sorry. We need to have a conversation about this. Okay. By the way, we're calling other side, DeQuattro. Peralta, my dad's side. Peralta, my last name is my dad's side. French, English, Irish, French. Oh, and Scottish. French, Canadian, English, Irish, Scottish. That's my dad's side. My mom, 100% Italian. DeQuattro. Susan DeQuattro, Joseph DeQuattro. That's my family. So my question is, where are the Gambino family? Where are the mafioso dudes? Where are the guys who are actually doing this? Like, why aren't they being shown? Like, who the hell is the mastermind? If you're trying to tell me that Chauncey Billups was the mastermind of a mafia plot for multiple fixed poker games all over the country, in Los Angeles, in New York, and here in Las Vegas, if you're trying to tell me that Chauncey Billups, there were 30 guys arrested, I thought, right? 30 people were caught up in this poker sting. And Chauncey Billups is the picture that the feds are showing. I know Stephen A. Smith is taking a ton of heat for pinning it back on the administration, but I haven't heard anyone disprove it. Like, like I've seen Fox News do it. I've seen Fox News go like, this dude, Stephen A. Smith, thinks that like this is just a plot. Okay, where are the guys in the mafia Where's their perp walk? Where's their mugshot? Why haven't we seen any of that stuff? Any of that stuff. Why haven't we seen any of those things going on? Why is the only thing we're talking about Chauncey Billups? It doesn't make any sense. It's a really weird part of this story that needs to be answered. Like, I get it. He's the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. That's a really big target. I get that. But Kash Patel and the FBI, you didn't do this. You picked this up when you got into power. The Biden administration started this 4 years ago. This was a long time ago. You guys had a long time to sit on this. You've had a long time to figure out what to do with this, who to arrest, who to charge, who to perp walk, and you chose to perp walk the NBA guys? Not have the mug shots and the pictures of the mafia guys, but the NBA guys to make it look like they were the mastermind of this whole entire thing? I mean, Terry Rozier told the FBI, his attorney told the FBI, tell me when and where, and I'll turn them in. And the FBI said, no, thanks. We're going to arrest him when we want. And they picked him up. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. This story is strange. Okay. It's just a strange story that, like, everyone, I get it. Everyone, like, moves on, right? Like, we just move on to the next story. But it involves my brethren. I don't really want to see my brethren. I don't want to see Italian guys get smeared and have, the innocent until proven guilty, right? In this country. But, like, I don't like when that happens, but I do find it a little bit weird as to who exactly is being charged and who exactly is being shown by the federal government as the quote, like, in masterminds. Whole thing is really weird. Okay. Whole thing is very, very strange. It doesn't make any sense to me. And we're here on a Monday and we still don't know, like, who was the mastermind? Who actually did it? Because if you're trying to tell me that it was Chauncey Billups, please, dude, like, please. Chauncey Billups was not the mastermind of this whole thing. He may have been heavily involved, but he Chauncey Billups doesn't go tell the mafia what to do. Kind of like the other way around. Favorite thing about today. I'll give it to you. Favorite thing about today is that the Sports Equinox is here. We get a Sports Equinox parlay. I'll give it to you. Yes, 4 sports in October on the week of Halloween. I mean, yes, this is cool. Okay. This is a cool day. This is a fun day. This is the type of day where if I was, in my early 30s, late 20s, I would grab my buddies. We would go to Buffalo Wild Wings, or we would go to some sports bar with a multitude of television sets. We'd sit down, we'd watch baseball, we'd watch football, we'd have basketball, and we'd have hockey because the Bruins are playing tonight. So we'd watch the Bruins. The Celtics are playing tonight. We'd watch the Celtics. We got baseball with the Dodgers. We cheer against the Blue Jays, and we cheer against the Chiefs. Like, that's what we would do. Let's hold on. Actually, while I'm thinking about this, what would that parlay pay out? Hold on. Oh, let's see. What would that parlay pay out? Let's see. This is a horrible idea. This will not hit, but let's just, for the fun of it, let's bet Celtics money line. They're favored now. Wow. Totally flipped. Boston's now favored. Wow. Okay. Celtics are favored by 1.5 tonight. Bruins, they're dogs at Ottawa. Let's take the Blue Jays. No, sorry. Take the Dodgers. And then let's take, oh God, do we bet Washington plus the points or Washington money line? If you take Washington plus the points, that's a plus 1169 parlay. If you take Washington money line, that's a 40-1. That's a 40-1 return if you want to do that. Let's just take the points. Don't get greedy. Take the 11 points. Washington plus 11. That's 12. That's 12-1. Celtics money line, Bruins money line, Dodgers money line, Commanders plus the points. There's the 12-1 parlay that my boys and I would all get together and go watch tonight with a Sports Equinox parlay. That's not hitting. Okay. I tried to give you guys a better parlay that actually would hit. I think this one, even though the numbers stink, I think that's got a possibility of hitting. Chiefs, Dodgers, Senators, Rockets. To be frank, I think the Senators could blow that. I think the Bruins might win, and the Bruins might cost us that parlay. Just FYI, if you're going to lay that. But Don't bet that heavy. It's only plus 186 for a ridiculously chalky parlay. But, there you go on that for the Sports Equinox parlay if you want to jump in for said play. Guys, thanks for being here. Remember, we're off tomorrow. Back on Wednesday, I'll be in New Hampshire, so we'll do it live. It'll be a Bet Chris Arizona Wednesday with Adam Bjorn, most likely. If not Wednesday, it'll be Thursday, but probably Wednesday. Where in the world will he be? I have no idea, but enjoy it. I'll be in the Discord channel today and tomorrow. We'll do a lot on the Discord channel. It's easy. Go to thebbbshow.com, click the link, and you guys can get into the Discord channel. It's always free to join that, thebbbshow.com. I'll be there this afternoon watching games, but also tomorrow, as well as I'm traveling. I'll be flying. I'm going to plane for 6 hours. So I'll be in the Discord channel a lot tomorrow from my flight's at 1 o'clock Eastern. So I'll fly from 1 till I think I land at 6:45 or 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be in the air on the Discord channel. Hop on in, be a part of it, and we'll chat more about sports. Thank you for being here, guys. Talk to you on Wednesday from New Hampshire for another episode of BBB.